Alright, listen up, folks. You ever hear of someone turning pocket change into a fortune? No, I'm not talking about winning the lottery or finding gold in their backyard. I'm talking about a plain old Washington quarter from 1987 with a P mint mark that's worth, and I'm not joking here, a jaw-dropping $3.4 million. That's right. One little coin, one little quarter, the kind you might use to buy a gumball or scratch a lottery ticket, could change your life. Come on man, that sounds like one of those email scams from a Nigerian prince. But no, this is real. It's happened before, and it could happen to you if you know what to look for. So grab your coin jars, empty out the car cup holder, check behind the couch cushions, and hang tight. I'm gonna break down exactly why this 1987 P quarter is worth millions, what makes it so special, and how you might already have one sitting in your house without even realizing it. And hey, I'll even toss in a personal story that might make you laugh or at least shake your head. Now, for those who might be new to this, the P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. In 1987, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these Washington quarters. Most of them totally normal, worth 25 cents. But a few, just a few, are what collectors call unicorns. Rare, unique, and worth a ridiculous amount of money. So how did one of these quarters end up being worth $3.4 million? Let me explain. The $1 million version of this coin has a specific set of features. We're talking minting errors, people. That's where the magic happens. This particular quarter is believed to have a double die obverse, which means the front of the coin, where George Washington's mug is, has a slight doubling in the letters and date. You might need a magnifying glass to see it, but trust me, the experts go nuts for that kind of thing. This particular coin also has what's known as a die clash. That means the dies that stamp the design onto the coin smacked into each other without a blank coin in between. When that happens, the dies leave an impression on each other, and then those marks get stamped onto all the coins afterward. So, if you look at the coin and see weird ghost-like images where they shouldn't be, you might be onto something. Now, you throw in some perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, especially MS67 or higher, and suddenly, you've got a coin that isn't just rare, it's priceless. Well, almost. In this case, it's priced at $3.4 million, let that sink in. A coin that originally cost 25 cents could now buy you a mansion, a few sports cars, or a private island if you're feeling fancy. I gotta tell you, this whole thing hits close to home. A couple years back, I was digging through my dad's old coin collection. You know, the kind in a dusty shoebox shoved in the back of a closet behind some ancient bowling trophies and cassette tapes. I wasn't expecting much. Maybe a wheat penny or a Susan B. Anthony dollar if I was lucky. A 1987 quarter with a P on it. My heart started racing. I whipped out a magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes and started inspecting every detail. I had the date, I had the mint mark, but no double die. No clash. No mint state. It had been through the ringer, probably bought 100 hot dogs and scratched off more than a few bingo cards. The possibility, the thrill of the hunt, it got me hooked. I started researching coins, talking to collectors, watching auction results like it was the Super Bowl. And now here I am, telling you how you might get that big break. First, get your hands on as many 1987 P quarters as you can. Ask friends, raid your piggy banks, check every bit of change you come across. Next, get a magnifying glass or one of those cheap coin loupes from the internet. You're looking for doubling, that'll show up in the date and the lettering around Washington's head. Look real close, then check the coin's overall condition. If it looks like it just rolled off the mint press, no scratches, no wear, that's a good sign. And if you think you've got something special, take it to a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. Yeah, it'll cost a bit, but if your quarter's the real deal, that little investment could turn into a multi-million-dollar payday. Don't ignore your change, folks. That 1987 P quarter could be the luckiest coin you ever find. The difference between tossing it into a vending machine and retiring early might just be a couple of small errors and a little bit of shine. Looking through coins is way more fun than watching reruns of shows you've already seen 100 times. Plus, who doesn't like the idea of becoming a millionaire without even leaving the house? If you learned something today, or if you're already reaching for that jar of change with excitement in your eyes, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. This channel is packed with tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious money, and I'll help you figure out exactly what to look for, without all the boring textbook stuff. Stick with me and you just might find a fortune hiding in your own pocket. Alright folks, gather around because I've got a story that might just blow your socks off and send you digging through the couch cushions like a man on a mission. Imagine this. You're at the gas station, you hand over a crumpled 20, get some change back, and in that little handful of coins is a 1999 Connecticut state quarter. You toss it in your pocket, not thinking much of it. But here's the kicker, that little silver-looking coin could be worth up to $1 million, yes, you heard me right. A cool million. That's not a typo, and no, I haven't been sniffing coin rolls in the basement too long. Today we're diving into the wild world of the 1999 Connecticut quarter and why some of these seemingly ordinary coins are turning heads in the collector community. If you're sitting on one of these, your wallet might just get a little heavier. So stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next lucky duck with $1 million quarter. And I'll even throw in a story about the time I thought I hit the jackpot, only to get humbled real quick. Let's rewind the tape to 1999. Y2K panic was in full swing, everyone was hoarding bottled water, and the US Mint had just kicked off the 50-state quarters program. Connecticut's quarter was the fifth one released, and let me tell ya, it's a beaut. Right on the back is the charter oak tree. A massive, twisting old tree that looks like something out of a fairy tale. But it's not just a pretty design. This tree is famous in Connecticut history. Legend has it that back in 1687, the Connecticut colonists hid their royal charter in the hollow of that very tree to keep the British from seizing control. Bold move. That tree's got more guts than half the action heroes on Netflix. Now, the 1999 Connecticut quarter minted in Philadelphia, that's the one with the little P on the front, had a whopping mintage of over 680 million coins. That's a lot of quarters. So you might be thinking, how the heck can something that common be worth $1 million? Most of those coins were normal, everyday pocket change. But every now and then, one of them comes out looking a little different. We're talking about rare mint errors, die varieties, or coins that were struck on the wrong planchet. One in particular, a 1999 Connecticut quarter with a super rare mint error, recently made headlines because of its insane value. Well, some of them were double struck, others had misaligned dies, and a few were struck on experimental planchets that weren't supposed to be used. In collector speak, that's like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn through a coin show. Now these rare error coins are like four-leaf clovers. Super hard to find, but worth the hunt. The one that pulled in the $1 million valuation was authenticated, graded by a top-tier grading company, and verified to have one of these spectacular minting errors. The condition was nearly flawless too, which makes all the difference. A coin in mint state condition can fetch 10, 20, even 100 times more than one that's been through the laundry 5 times and chewed by a toddler. So I'm at this flea market one Saturday, digging through a bin of old coins, you know, the kind of place that smells like mothballs and lost dreams. I spot a 1999 Connecticut quarter and my heart skips a beat. Could this be it? The $1 million find? I whip out my loop like a cowboy drawing his 6-shooter and start inspecting. My hands are shaking like I just drank 4 espressos. It had a slight doubling on the lettering, and the rim looked a little off. I was buzzing with excitement. I get it home, carefully bag it, and send it in to get graded. 2 weeks later I get the email. Not an error. Just a beat-up quarter with a bad haircut. Talk about a gut punch. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt. You win some, you learn some. Check the mint mark. It needs to have the P for Philadelphia. Look for mint errors. Doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, weird planchets, coin condition is key. The closer to mint state, the better. Consider getting it graded. Professional grading can confirm authenticity and increase the value. Research. Compare it with verified examples online or talk to experienced collectors, and remember, even if yours isn't the $1 million version, a rare error coin could still be worth hundreds or thousands. Not bad for a 25-cent piece, huh? That 1999 Connecticut quarter sitting in your change jar might just be your golden ticket. Sure, most of them are worth a quarter and not a penny more. But if you've got one with that elusive mint error in pristine shape, you could be looking at a payout big enough to buy a car, pay off some debt, or finally build that coin man cave you've been dreaming about. And hey, even if you don't strike it rich, coin collecting is one heck of a fun hobby. You learn some history, sharpen your eyes, and occasionally come across a story worth telling at every family barbecue for the next 10 years. If you enjoyed this video and you want to keep learning about coins that could be worth big money, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've got tons more tips, coin facts, and collecting strategies coming your way. Next time, maybe we'll talk about the quarter that paid for someone's vacation or the penny that paid off a mortgage. Hey everybody, quick question for you. Have you ever found a quarter and thought, it's just 25 cents? Well, buckle up, because there's a quarter out there right now that could make your jaw drop and your bank account sing. I'm talking about the 2015 Saratoga State quarter with a little P mint mark. And guess what? One of these bad boys is worth a whopping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard me right. $1.1 million. For a quarter. So before you go dumping your change jar into a Coinstar, you might want to hold up and listen to this. I'm gonna break down what makes this quarter so valuable, how you can spot one, and yes, I'll even share a personal story that might just make you laugh, or cry. Probably both. Let's get into it. Alright, let's rewind to 2015. The US Mint released a series of quarters as part of the America the Beautiful series. One of them was the Saratoga quarter, commemorating the turning point of the American Revolutionary War, the surrender at Saratoga. It features an image of a sword being handed over. Pretty historical, right? But what's more exciting than history class? Cold. Hard. Cash. Now, the version we're talking about was minted in Philadelphia, hence the little P mint mark. Most of these are worth exactly what you'd expect, 25 cents. Maybe a little more if they're shiny and untouched. But there's one version out there that's got coin collectors absolutely losing their minds. This special quarter has a very rare mint error. What kind of error, you ask? Drumroll please. It was struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the usual copper-nickel clad. That's right. Somehow, a planchet meant for a silver coin snuck into the quarter minting process. It's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar. Only this golden ticket is worth over $1 million. Now, this particular coin was discovered in almost perfect condition. We're talking mint state 69. That's like winning the coin lottery. The surface is nearly flawless. The strike is crisp. The luster is amazing. And because of its unique composition and rarity, its value skyrocketed at auction. The last known sale of this exact type? $1.1 million. Now let me tell you a little story. I was at a flea market last summer, digging through a bucket of loose coins. The sign said, all coins 50 cents. I'm flipping through buffalo nickels, wheat pennies, and there it was, a 2015 Saratoga quarter. My heart skipped a beat. I pulled it out, gave it the squint test, checked the mint mark. It had the P. For a split second, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Then I realized, it was a regular one. No silver shine, no error, just your run-of-the-mill quarter. But you better believe I still bought it. I mean hey, 50 cents isn't bad for a potential $1 million dream, right? 2015, second, look for the mint mark, P for Philadelphia. Third, examine the coin's edge. If it looks like solid silver and doesn't have that copper sandwich stripe, you might be onto something. Fourth, weigh it. A standard clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver one will weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams. If your scale says anything close to that, it's time to start sweating. And last but not least, have it graded by a professional. PCGS or NGC are your go-to services. If it's legit, you might be the next coin millionaire. Now, I know some of you are thinking, man, the odds are slim. And yeah, they are. But people win the lottery, people find valuable coins in parking lots, and folks have bought Picasso paintings at yard sales for $5. Stranger things have happened. And unlike scratch-off tickets, coin hunting is practically free. You just gotta dig through your pocket change. I'll be honest, I've become a total coin nerd over the years. I keep a magnifying glass in my car. I've got one in the kitchen. My family thinks I've lost it. But every time I pull out a rare coin, they stop laughing real quick. It's like metal detecting without the weird looks at the beach. Underestimate that little quarter in your pocket. The 2015 Saratoga quarter with the P mint mark might be more than just spare change. It might be your ticket to a new car, a dream vacation, or heck, a mortgage-free life. All for spotting a shiny slice of silver history. If you've made it this far, congrats, you're now officially part of the coin hunting club. And trust me, this is just the beginning. There are so many coins out there worth serious money, and I'm here to help you find them. Hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Tap the bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos where we uncover the hidden gold in your pocket change. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever found a cool coin or if you've been bitten by the coin collecting bug. I'd love to hear your stories. Alright fellas, lean in real close because what I'm about to tell you could make your jaw drop straight into your cup of coffee. Imagine finding a quarter, a plain old quarter, in your change after buying gas station beef jerky, and realizing it's worth $1.2 million. Yep, you heard that right. $1.25 worth of snacks gets you a coin that could buy you a yacht, a house, and maybe even fix your mother-in-law's leaky roof. Today we're diving deep into the legendary 2020 Salt River Bay quarter. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be turning over every coin in your change jar faster than a raccoon in a trash can. Before we jump in, let me hit you with a quick story about how I missed out on a goldmine coin once, and how you won't have to. So a few years ago, I was at a flea market digging through a box labeled junk drawer special, you know the kind. Broken watches, old bottle openers, some mystery keys, and a big ol' handful of coins. I spot a shiny quarter and thought it looked a little funny, like the design was a bit off-center. I showed it to the guy and he said, 50 cents for the whole box. Sold. Well, guess what I did? I left the box in the back seat of my car, forgot about it, and by the time I remembered, my nephew had already rated it for arcade money. That quarter I saw? Turns out, it could have been worth tens of thousands. Let me tell you, that one still stings like a bee under your balls. So don't be like me. Pay attention to what's jingling in your pockets. Now let's get into the star of today's show, the 2020 Salt River Bay quarter. Minted in Denver, this coin is part of the America the Beautiful series, and let me tell you, it looks beautiful. It features the mangroves of the Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve in the Virgin Islands. But it's not the scenery that makes this quarter worth more than a lembo, it's the rare errors and pristine conditions that send collectors into a frenzy. It's worth 25 cents. But this 2020 beauty is special. Only a handful are known to exist in nearly perfect condition with specific minting errors, think off-center strikes, double dies, and ultra-high grades from coin grading services. One of these graded mint state 69 was sold at auction for an eye-watering $1.2 million. Most people don't even know this thing exists. They see a shiny new quarter, chuck it in their pocket, and forget about it. Meanwhile, that quarter could be the key to retiring early and sipping margaritas on a beach in the Bahamas. Alright, get ready to play detective. When you come across a 2020 D Salt River Bay quarter, here's what you want to check. Look for the little D under, "In God We Trust," on the front. That's the Denver Mint. Is it super shiny with no scratches or dents? You might have a high-grade coin. The jackpot lies in those small imperfections. Look for doubling in the letters or image, missing parts of the design, or weird off-center strikes. That brilliant cartwheel shine that flashes under light. If your quarter glows like it's got attitude, you might be in business. Now let's say you find one. What do you do next? Well, don't run to the pawn shop. Take a breath. First, get it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what condition it's in, and if it's the real deal, you'll get that shiny certification slab that collectors drool over. Then, you've got options. Auctions, eBay, private collectors, these folks will pay big for the right coin. But don't be in a rush. Make sure you understand the market and play your cards right. Some folks have found these coins in bank rolls. Yup, those little $10 tubes of quarters. So if you've got a coin roll hunting habit, it might just pay off bigger than a lottery ticket. Look, I get it. We've all got change rolling around in our car cup holders, junk drawers, and between the couch cushions. But after today, you're gonna look at that change like it's a treasure chest. Because hidden among the pennies and dimes might be a 2020 D Salt River Bay quarter worth a life-changing amount of money. And hey, if you enjoyed this little coin adventure, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. I'm dropping coin tips, stories, and money-making strategies all the time, and I don't want you missing out. Hit the bell, tell your buddy who thinks quarters are just pocket filler, and keep your eyes peeled next time you get change. You never know when a $1 million coin is hiding in plain sight. Alright folks, hold on to your wallets because you're not gonna believe this. There's a 2014 D Arches National Park quarter out there that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.3 million for a single quarter. That's 25 cents turning into enough money to buy a house, a couple of cars, and still have some left over for snacks at the gas station. I mean seriously, who needs a lottery ticket when you might already be carrying a gold mine in your pocket? Now before you go flipping over your couch cushions and dumping out your piggy bank, let me walk you through what makes this quarter so insanely valuable. And stick around because I've got a personal story that'll show you how one simple habit can literally change your life, or at least your bank account. Let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. The 2014 D Arches quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, you know, the ones with different national parks and landmarks. This particular one features the iconic stone arch from Arches National Park in Utah. Now normally, these are just beautiful little works of art we toss in a jar and forget about. But every once in a while, the mint drops a unicorn into circulation, and that's exactly what happened here. It's all about rarity and errors. The big winner in this case is a 2014 D Arches quarter with a unique minting error that somehow slipped past the usual inspections. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, and even die cracks that line up in a way that collectors go absolutely bananas for. Add in pristine condition, we're talking MS-68 or higher, and boom, you've got a coin that's rarer than a quiet toddler. Now here's where it gets wild. The D Mint mark tells us it came out of the Denver Mint. Normally, they produce these by the millions, and in 2014, they did. Over 250 million of these were made. But only one has surfaced with the perfect storm of rarity, mint error, and pristine condition that collectors crave. That one quarter? Recently appraised at a whopping $1.3 million. So back in 2019, I was at this gas station, right? I grab a soda and some beef jerky, because you can't road trip without beef jerky, that's just a rule, and I get 75 cents back in change. I glance at the quarters and one of them has a weird shine to it. Now, I'd been dabbling in coin collecting, nothing serious, just a hobby to keep me off my phone. But I had this gut feeling. So I kept it. Later that week, I threw it under a magnifying glass and realized it was a 2014 D Arches quarter with a slight double die on the reverse. Now don't get too excited, it wasn't the $1 million one. But I sold it for $300. Not bad for a quarter I almost left in the car cup holder. That's when I knew, this hobby, it's got some serious potential. Now here's the good part. You don't have to be a pro to find these gems. All it takes is a little time, a good eye, and a dash of patience. Grab a magnifying glass, start looking at your change, and check for those little things that stand out, weird lines, off-center images, doubled text. And when in doubt, hit up a coin forum or a grading service. There's a whole community out there that loves this stuff and can help you figure out if what you've got is treasure or just lunch money. Also, condition is everything. A beat-up, scratched quarter? Probably not worth much. But one that looks like it just rolled off the press? That's when things get spicy, and let's not forget grading. If you think your coin's got potential, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A good grade can turn a $100 coin into a 5-figure coin. And in the case of this Arches quarter, that mint error with a top-tier grade, that's what pushed it into 7-figure territory. I get it, though. Coin collecting sounds like something your grandpa did after he retired. But these days? It's a legit side hustle. You're basically treasure hunting with pocket change. And who doesn't want to be a modern-day pirate without the risk of scurvy? Next time you get change, don't just shove it in a drawer or throw it in your car's ashtray. Take a minute. Look at it. That plain OL quarter might just be your ticket to early retirement. The 2014 D Arches National Park quarter with the right mint error and grade is worth a staggering $1.3 million. And if someone else found one in the wild, why not you? All it takes is one coin. If you had fun with this, learned something new, or just want more tips on spotting valuable coins in the wild, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more videos coming your way about rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to make your spare change work for you. Turn your hobby into a hustle and your quarters into gold mines. And hey, next time you're at the gas station grabbing a soda and some jerky, check your change. You never know what treasure might be staring back at you. Alright fellas, gather around because you are not gonna believe what I'm about to tell you. Imagine flipping through your spare change, maybe while digging under the couch cushions for pizza money, and bam, you stumble on a quarter that could be worth more than a Lamborghini. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But this isn't a fairy tale. It's about the 2020 D Weir Farm State quarter. That little shiny piece of 25-cent metal could be worth a whopping $1.4 million today. $1.4 million. For a quarter. I know some of you are looking at your junk drawer right now like it might be holding the keys to early retirement. So today, we're diving deep into the Weir Farm 2020 D quarter, why it's worth so much, how to spot one, and I'll even throw in a personal story that might just make you look at your spare change a little differently. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Let's start with the basics. The Weir Farm National Historic Site quarter was part of the America the Beautiful series, which the U.S. Mint ran from 2010 through 2021. These quarters featured national parks and historic sites from every state and territory. Connecticut got Weir Farm in 2020, and let me tell you, it's a beautiful coin. Now the version we're talking about today has a little D mint mark. That D stands for Denver, where it was minted. Over 212 million of these were produced at the Denver Mint. So you're probably thinking, how in the world is something with over 200 million copies floating around suddenly worth more than a fully loaded Ferrari? It all comes down to a few special coins with ultra-rare mint errors or pristine conditions. We're talking mint state grades, MS 68 or higher, and sometimes even proof-like surfaces or double die obverse. There are even rumors in the coin world of one coin in particular with a rare strike-through error and nearly flawless condition, which is the one experts say reached a value of $1.4 million at private auction. Now don't go running to your local gas station begging for quarters just yet. let's talk about how to identify if you've got something special. First, check the front of the coin. You're looking for signs of a double die. That's where the lettering or images have a ghost-like shadow from a second imprint. Focus especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. Then, flip it over. Look closely at the intricate design of the artist painting outside in the trees. If any details look extra crisp, ultra shiny, or strangely layered, you might have a winner. And if the coin looks like it was printed on a Monday morning before the mint's coffee kicked in, crooked, misaligned, or pressed with extra force, that could mean a valuable error. And condition is everything. Your coin should be spotless, like it just came out of a coin vending machine from the future. No scratches, no grime, no chewing gum stuck to it. Yes, I once found a quarter like that. Pretty sure it had been through someone's washing machine and their dog's digestive system. Now here's where it gets real. I'll tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, my buddy Jake, who couldn't tell a coin from a cookie, called me up out of the blue. He said, "Dude, I think I found something in my change that looks fancy. Wanna take a look?" So I swing by his place, expecting to find something boring like a 1999 Connecticut quarter. But there it was. A 2020 Millionaier farm quarter in jaw-dropping condition. I'm talking mint state shine like it just rolled off the press. I told him, "Jake, if this grades what I think it'll grade, you might be able to trade in your beat-up Toyota for a Tesla." He sent it off to get graded, and while it didn't quite hit that $1 million mark, it still fetched thousands. Thousands. From a coin he almost tossed in the laundry jar. And now every time I see Jake, he reminds me how he almost used that quarter to pay for a bag of chips. Alright, so what have we learned here today? 1. Coins are not just coins, they're tiny treasures hiding in plain sight. 2. The 2020 Millionaier farm quarter might just be the jackpot sitting in your junk drawer or under your car seat. And 3. Always take a second look before you hand over your change to a vending machine. That quarter might be worth more than your mortgage. If you've got a 2020 Millionaier farm quarter, grab a magnifying glass, clean off the Cheeto dust, and inspect that baby. Who knows, you could be holding onto a piece of metal that's worth $1.4 million, and if this kind of treasure hunting gets your blood pumping like it does mine, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way that'll help you turn pocket change into serious profit. Don't miss out, your $1 million coin could be closer than you think.